existence itself has brought you to this oasis. Life has simply brought you to a point where you see the pointlessness of living the way you have been. The never-ending storms arising from fear, doubt, uncertainty, confusion is too much to bear. An overwhelming sense of helplessness has eased you toward the search for relief, if nothing else. But wherever you look, more confusion arises, and bliss continues to remain the all-elusive nectar that we all covet. Internet gurus, life after death authors, spiritualists, fortune tellers, philosophers, all form a vast, expanding web of science versus faith gladiators, all fighting for the internet dollar. And while you are jumping from pillar to post, they are just running all the way off to the bank. And while some of you don't mind paying for bliss, the secret that no one tells you is that bliss is personal. It is private. It is exclusive. Someone else's bliss cannot be yours. Another secret they don't tell you is that bliss cannot be bought or sold. How can they tell you this? If they reveal this, the whole business of selling will come crumbling down. It is simply sufficient that I tell you what bliss is not. So I have said it. I am not here to condemn others, but simply to help you in the same way I myself was helped. To point the way. And that is all that anyone slightly more experienced can do. I can be a guide, but I cannot walk the path with you. You have to walk the path yourself. You cannot pay anyone to walk this path. And you cannot walk this path for anyone else. And the path is a narrow one. I say it is a narrow one because you cannot be on it and off it at the same time. In other words, yes, you have been called to the path of liberation, self-realization. But are you prepared to make some very difficult choices? It is important that you make this decision now, before you start. Simply because as long as you don't embrace this resolve, make the decision to make sacrifices for consciousness, the harder it will be to make progress, to see results, to ward off defeat. So think very carefully before you begin, or you will simply be wasting your time. Now you want to know what are the sacrifices? In reality, what is loosely termed as sacrifice is simply not a sacrifice at all. It is just a correction from the deviation that we have all grown so accustomed to. From birth, we are systematically fed with the most dangerous drug the planet has had the misfortune to know. It is called the drug of social acceptance. The doses keep getting larger and turn innocent babies into growing warriors of sheer lunacy, all fighting for more and more. They join the growing army of the blind, leading the blind in a senseless drive for excess, in full knowledge that not a dime can be taken past the grave. You and I, as children, were given a drug. Surprise, surprise. By our own parents, who in turn were given it by their parents, and so on and so forth. It is called the drug of social acceptance, or approval, or appreciation. In the very cradle, we learned, or we were taught, that if we cried, we'd get attention. If people smiled at us, it made us feel happy because we knew they were happy with us. And we smiled in return. This drug is also called praise, success, acceptance, popularity. See, many names for the same drug. But once we took the drug, society began to control us, and we became like robots. I tell the robot, "Hey, you're looking pretty." And the robot goes right up in the sky with happiness. Why? Because I pressed the appreciation button. Now I press the criticism button and say, "Oh, how terrible you look today." And what happens? The robot comes crashing down to the earth, totally smashed. Total control. We are so easily controlled by this drug. And when we are deprived of it, we become absolutely terrified. We are so frightened to make mistakes, afraid that people will laugh at us. Here's an example of a little girl who came down one night in a nightie to say goodnight to the guests. The guest thought that this was so sweet and started laughing at how cute she looked in a nightie. The little girl thought that they were laughing at her and ran away crying because somebody taught her that when people clap, she's supposed to feel good. But when people laugh at her, she's supposed to feel bad. She'd been given the drug, and now she's finished. So when you're rejected or you failed, you feel so bad that you will do anything for that drug called encouragement, acceptance, belonging. As a result of this drug, you've lost your ability to live life to the fullest, to love. You've stopped seeing things and other beings as they really are. Now you can either see them as a threat to your drug or as a support to your drug. You don't see human beings anymore. Say to the robot, "I like you," and the robot will immediately react, "Oh, he's a good guy." Now say, "I don't like you," and the robot's response will be, "Ah, he's awful, he's bad." See how the drug works? How can you love what you no longer see? So how to get rid of this drug? You have to tear those tentacles out of your system. They have gone down to the marrow of your bone. This control that society exercises over us has to be taken out of our system. How do you do that? Simply by seeing what they are doing to you. When you begin to see that, everything will be the same, but you will have dropped out of this imprisonment, this horrible situation. You will be in the world, but you will no longer be of the world. But do you know how terrifying this liberation is? It's like asking a drug addict to give up his beloved drugs, the drugs that he has been used to all his life, without knowing how it has been robbing him of his life. He or she cannot conceive a future without it. So how do you get out of it? Well, first, you have to face that terror. You have to understand what the drug is doing to you. What a terrible state it is. Because you cannot live without people, because it brings a tremendous loneliness. And when you are with people, there's always that tension. The only way to love people is to die to your need for people. In other words, to learn how to stop craving acceptance. First of all, be patient with yourself. Secondly, call the drug out for what it is. It is an artificial stimulant. If you want to enjoy life, send the people away. Spend some time alone. Enjoy creation in all its splendor. Lose yourself in a silver moon in the black night sky. Enjoy a dewdrop on the morning grass. You will soon see that love is born in solitude. You come to this land of love by passing through the land of death. In the beginning, it seems lonely because you are not accustomed to being alone. This is not the same as loneliness. Loneliness means missing people. Aloneness means not needing anyone. Then at last, when you stand away from them, you can see them. You suddenly will see that your aloneness transforms into an ocean of love, and it is springtime forever. So see the drug for what it is. Then be patient the way you would with an addict. Here's something for you to try. Think of someone whose approval, appreciation you think you desperately need. And now see if you can understand how in front of this person you have lost your freedom. You dare not be yourself. You cannot live like a king. Take a few seconds to try that out. Keep trying it. And soon you will see that you can do without this appreciation, without this drug. And from that day on, you will no longer crave the drug, and you will be totally free to enjoy your true liberation. So, are you ready to see the drug for what it is and what it has done to you? And to say, enough is enough. No more conformity. From this day on, I am going to question everything. I will take nothing at face value, and I am going to follow a strict code of morality. So can you see yourself living a life without lying, bending the truth? Can you see yourself treating all beings, animate or inanimate, with the same respect that you would like to be treated with? This means no killing or causing other beings to be killed. Think carefully. This may also impact your livelihood. Profiting from the misery of others, directly or indirectly, will impede your meditative journey. Are you ready? Another correction will be concerning what you put into your body. Are you willing to change your diet to what your body needs, and not just what you think you have grown to love? This will mean saying no to many foods and drinks that you've grown to enjoy, in spite of knowing how much harm they do to your body and how they are leading you to expensive hospitals and even more expensive graves. Are you willing to open your eyes and see the damage you are causing yourself and others? Are you willing? Now that you have made these important, life-changing decisions, are you ready to put aside at least 1 hour every day to practice meditation? Are you ready to be patient with yourself and determined to override setbacks, hurdles, when and as they come up? Are you willing to be steadfast in your resolve to examine, to dissect, disintegrate this being that you call I, and find out who this I really is? Of course, this will take more than resolve. It will take hours, perhaps days of continuous practice as you progress on the path, and you will be confronted by enemies from within. Prime among them is the mind-body habit. Then there will be the task of taming the wild mind that has grown so used to agitation. This will take time and patience. Can you make the time to reclaim what is rightfully yours? Are you clear in your mind as to what you wish to achieve from meditating? If you are looking for the fireworks, then you should know now that that is not what meditation is. Meditation is simply watching. Experiences on the way are just what they are. Experiences. They are not the final goal. Continuous watching with a view to seeing how the body, the mind, and all that exists is merely in a state of constant change. As you progress, the more distance between you and the body that occurs, you are soon able to experience something that is beyond mind and matter, and hence cannot be described nor understood by the senses. You have to experience it for yourself. Now, as you ponder these options, these choices, before you reach your decision, help others by sharing this message. The more you share, the more comes back to you. The more seeds you sow, the more trees will grow, the more fruit will appear. Those fruit will still have more seeds from which more trees will come and more fruit. And it all starts with you. The next few messages will address other important aspects of meditation before we begin meditating together. For now, if you'd like to be kept informed, kindly press the subscribe button and the notification bell. And please leave a comment saying just which city you are in. As we near the stage for online practice, it will be necessary to be aware of the time zones involved. Before we end, sit comfortably. Keep the body as loose as possible and gently close your eyes. Stay in the moment for as long as you can. And when you are done, open your eyes and listen to your heart.